What up, though? Everybody say what up, though.
What up, though?
We got First Lady in the house, and we got Stick to the Script. Our movie this week was Jingle Jangle. All right, First Lady, you are up first. What did you think about Jingle Jangle?
I thought Jingle Jangle was fantabulous. I give that 5+ fagos right off the bat. I've been following David E. Talbert ever since he started his plays in the Chitlin Circle. So he used to come down there to Montgomery, Alabama, go down there to the theater. So I got married in the 90s, in 1996, and I have been watching his plays since before I got married.
I grew up watching Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was my favorite, and Willy Wonka. And they all had, these factories. And things. So I said I wanted to create a character that had, his own. So this is
where the magic happens.
Where magic happens. It's Veronica's Jangles.
He had heavy hitters then. He was way before the Tyler Perry, all these other people that were doing plays. I mean, he was traveling the Chitlin circuit frequently, because like I would go to his plays maybe once every 2-3 months, and he was flipping them just that quickly. So when I saw his name, I automatically knew I'm gonna enjoy this. The story, even though it was similar to the Oz, I like his twist on it, because he always does a twist on it. Basically, it's about believing in yourself. And we all know the story, hurt people. And that's just what happened. We disappoint ourselves. We get disappointed in other people. And sometimes you just want to give up. But you have to keep pressing on, because there's still a gift that's in you that need to be established or formed or, processed. So we have to respect the process in all things. I think even the costumes, because it had an African undertone to it, which I just absolutely loved.
It's really rooted in history and rooted in the ground, in the sounds of the music, in the movement of the people, even in the things that they're wearing. They're very sort of Victorian clothing, but everything has a bit of African print in it, so that no one's history is lost as we tell the story.
Even to the women of color, their hairstyles, if you were to look at them, they were all natural. All of them. That's including the children. The dances, the way they were choreographed, they had African undertone to them. Even the colors on the costumes, even to something as simple as the snowball fight. The little girls came out with their African dance, and I was like, man, I am loving this. The songs, I think it fit the scene perfectly. They had beautiful voices. I even enjoyed Forrest Whitaker trying to do his rendition.
To your right, you will see the one and only Forrest Whitaker. That's him. He's right now on phone with his character. That's the way he does it. It's part of his technique. He talks to his character on the phone, has a dialogue, and then absorbs the character. And who am I to judge? He's the Oscar winner.
So, I mean, I loved it. It's and I love David E. Talbert plays. I've been following him a long time. He's always put together a fantabulous cast to get his story the way it needs to be told.
Let me ask you this, First Lady. Sorry to interrupt, because I have never went to one of his plays, and it seems like whatever his plays were, this might be a long way away from that. Like, were his plays like this? Like,
yes.
What? Okay.
Well, like even with the movie, of course, you had the set that was there, but he was one of the first directors for a play screenwriter and director for a play that had a moving set.
Okay.
So even though it was in just that one setting, it was that moving set. So whenever you change the scene, it was folding within itself so it could create whatever scene it was. So it blew our minds. We're talking about it in the 1990s. So I loved it. Like I said, I give it whatever you could give it because I enjoyed it and I enjoy him as an artist.
And there's so many great African American inventors that are unheralded. You know, in a cobblestone square here on the set, all of the names of the buildings are named after.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things on the set.
Absolutely.
Every name on the storefronts has a meaning. That David handpicked these names to make sure they represented something bigger than just the movie, but history and people who were innovators. And that's what this movie's all about.
Absolutely. You know, give us a chance for people of color, people of non-color to see a different image of Black excellence, of Black innovation.
So how many Fagos is that? I'm thinking
I give him 6.
Okay.
Yeah, I know 5 is the scale, but I got to give him that little extra, you know.
Yeah.
He did that.
Did your son watch it?
He did. He watched it, and I actually watched it twice.
Okay.
He enjoyed it because he enjoyed the children enjoying themselves, you know, and it had that toy undertone to it, even though he's outside that age of toys. But it wasn't just the regular toys like you would do with like those Christmas movies where it was just a regular toy. All his toys had some type of magical twist to it, which caught his attention, and and it kept you guessing at what toy would do what.
Yeah, and he's 13, right?
He's 13.
Yeah, so I was asking because he's kind of at that age where, Mom, this might be corny. So that's why I was asking if he liked it. And
I think it intrigued him what that toy, what do you think it might do, or something like that. So it intrigued him to continue to watch it.
I was just totally impressed with like you said, the costume, the set design, whoever was in the art department. Oh, they did wonderful. Like, it was amazing. I felt like I was in this Christmas fantasy land. I don't know if it for me will be a movie I will watch every year. That's still yet to be determined.
Yeah.
Because it's a musical, and that's not maybe my favorite genre, but I do like the way they did it. It wasn't so musically that I was like, oh Lord, another song. Like, they gave me enough dialogue and then went on to the music, the acting. Great, from
and even with the song had lyrics that depict the dialogue. Right. So and I thought, and it wasn't so drowned out by the run-ons like Hamilton. It was clear lyrics that you can understand the story that the song was trying to say.
With the songs, like the African thing, I love that part. But I didn't really feel no other African undertones. I felt like it was very traditional. Like, they had like English accents, some of them or all of them or something like that. I don't know. That was the best I've seen Forrest Whitaker look. So hey, amen to that. No. But as far as the song, and I think that's probably for me where they could make me watch this movie every year. Okay, so when I think musicals, like, okay, I'm going The Wiz, Wizard of Oz. Like, those are probably my favorite musicals. The thing about this was, the score was very orchestra. I think like with The Wiz, you had Michael Jackson. I mean, come on. Ease on down the road, and even with The Wizard of Oz, they had
Yellow Brick Road, The
Dun,
Witch is
he's
Dead,
the Wonderful Wizard of Oz. So
the
I think,
Lollipop. You know,
yeah, the lollipop, yeah, the lollipop. So I think for me, this would have been excellent if the songs were a little more catchy. They weren't catchy, but they weren't boring. But it was like a lot of, like that, like singing and twirling around and all of that kind of stuff. So I'm knocking stuff down. But I still think it was great. I was just happy to see, a Black cast in a musical Christmas movie. It wasn't all Black, and that was fine. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just very excited for David. Like it's just put him in the books. Like a legacy has been formed, and I read somewhere that he did this so that his children could see a Christmas story with a Black class. And I know we've seen Christmas stories before with a Black cast, but they're more kind of like around the family table or like a love story. But this I had never seen. And it wasn't Santa, but the inventor. So I like the nice twist on it. So yeah, for the culture, I think this is a win. And I'm gonna give it 4.5 bagels. I'm trying to think of what flavor I would give it. I feel like there's no Christmassy bagel flavor.
So why wouldn't you give it 5?
I wouldn't give it 5 because it still wasn't perfect. What have I given? Have I given some 5? I may have. The only reason I won't give it 5 is because of the score. Like, I feel like if Quincy Jones was still alive or somebody like that, like I felt like, how about this? If I could just be blunt, I felt like the songwriters were not people of color. And for me, I feel like just a little more soul, That's all I wanted. And so that's why I wouldn't give it 5, because not even a soul thing. Like I said, we're off to see the wonderful Wizard of Oz. What song can you instantly repeat from that movie right now?
I can't.
You can't. Exactly. But one time you watched The Wizard of Oz, you were able to repeat, like that repetitiveness that stuck in your head. I didn't walk away singing a song, but I know which ones I like. Like when the post lady went in there and she talked to him, I know I like that one.
That was a good song.
I can't think of any other words. So that's why it can't get a 5. But it is a strong 4.5.
Okay.
All right, 6. Mr. Oh gosh, there's music.
And you're right. You're right. And I will put that up again. You can flash my text message. Yes, I did. And I was watching, when I first watched it, I was preoccupied. I was doing something else. But and I was like, man, it's a long movie. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna have to watch it over again to see the elements that either stand out and what I'm gonna like about it and what I may dislike. But when I watched it again, I got a chance to look at everything. I right off jump to set the tone of the story. I'm thankful for Felicia Rashad. Thank you. She knows how to, when she steps in front of that.
Who says a bedtime story with a gown with rhinestones? I'm sorry, Stick. Go ahead.
I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. She set the tone, so it worked. And then once you get into the story, you see how this, how it begins, how his life was set up, and where it was going to go, and then what happened, and how it ended up being. Mm-hmm. So you see the tragedy. You see how this is going to be basically a comeback story, and you enjoy it. And like you said, it's Black. I did love the natural hair. I loved how, the daughter looked up to her father. I love how he had, his wife. The dances, they were traditional African tones. And it was funny because anybody who's outside of the culture had trouble doing those dances, but we're not going to talk about that, but they did a good job. You're right. The songs did not stand out, T-Money. They didn't stand out, but the message of the song stood out more. So it was just weird. It's like the song didn't stand out, but what the granddaughter said and how she said it and how it made her character be portrayed. So that was important. I love the way she was dressed. Very, very, I like her natural hair. She looked like this is just a little side note, funny, but she looked like a Black Who to me from like what's the Grinch and the Who's or whatever. She looked like a Who naturally, but she was a cute little black. She's a cute she was a cute girl. I don't want to say black, but she's a cute girl, and she did a great job. She did a great job. I could see her future being bright. I don't know when she grow into teenager and being a young woman, she's going to be a good actor because she got it right now. Forrest Whitaker did his thing. David Talbert, he produced or he directed and wrote a great play. Like you said, the music, it doesn't hit to me all the time unless it just has like Tanya said, it has to be catchy. It has to, you have to remember that.
But you know, same time she came in the shop, she was talking about how grumpy he was. So her whole song was about him smiling, about, you know, how that would change his demeanor. So that's the reason why I said the songs that we knew, but it pertained to the scene and it enriched the scene to me.
Right. It had elements of what you need for a story to move along and how it's supposed to play along. And it had good pacing. Like the songs weren't too long. They went with the scene. They moved to the next scene, and you go to something different or the same overall issue and triumph. So it was good just to see everything how it played out. It was a good Christmas movie. It was something that was. You can actually tell people, you can watch with your kids, and it's nothing where you'll be like, oh, I didn't expect that, or man, this ain't for children, like that type of stuff. Because even my mother, she was just like, I want to watch it tonight. So that's what she was saying. So I might have to help her find it on my Netflix account. So, you know, but I will give it 4.5, but it's past 4.5. It's leaning closer to 5, but it's 4.5 for me because, like I said, the music is always something that I can always do without, and money she put it in a better term as far as like, oh well, it didn't have anything catchy. If it had something catchy, I could get closer to a 5 and be like, yeah, that's all stood out. That's the one I really like. Because there was stuff, I'm gonna be honest, there was stuff in Hamilton that I did like. There was music, at least 2 or 3 songs that I did enjoy, and I went back and rewinded and watched them all the way through, so you'll understand what the story was. And this one, I remember the elements of the song or the what it was trying to tell you if you're watching. The girl felt what she said. She's impossible. She can do anything regardless of what the circumstance is. That was important. It's good to see Black people moving into something else that actually matters, and we can share with other cultures and show you that, yeah, it matters to you, it matters to us. We can do it our way, and it still feels like it's authentic, our culture. So I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it the second time. I'll give David E. Talbert his props, and I know he's been doing it for a while. I give Felicia Rashad, Forrest Whitaker, my man Michael Key, he did a good job too. All the young cast, they did a great job. And even the people I don't know, the male woman, she did a good job. She was annoying, but she did a good job of being it. So the cast did a great job. They should get commended for this. I think John Legend, I saw his name. I'm not sure if it was that John Legend, but John Legend may have done some things with the music. So it had a more of a poppy, crooner type of feel. So that's his lane. But I understand what Money said. She's right. I agree with her on that one. It didn't have anything that stuck out to where you can grasp and like, damn, I can tuck that in my mind or put that in my heart or something, like that. But it just was like, okay, that was a good song.
I mean, and they were nice. It was maybe traditional, but there was just not that one hit song. Right. That one song that you like, I'm gonna drop this on my device or whatever and listen to it over and over. I just didn't get that. Even like Dream Girls.
Yeah. What we say now is you just put it on your playlist. If it makes your playlist, if it makes your playlist, it's personal. That means you actually like the song and it has meaning, and you can use it for a certain time of life coming up or you pass. It's personal. That's what playlists mean. If you put it on your playlist, it's personal and you like it and you might want to share it with people. But this was good. It was something, and maybe he can expand this to something else if he does it again, or help some other playwrights or directors with a Christmas story, a holiday story. But he did a
Right.
good job. He did a good job. It looked good. It was colorful. It was great. It was well. I mean, the budget had to be good. The production looked great. I mean, I didn't see anything crazy, but it was amazing. It was something to remember the story by. Yeah.
It just goes to show you, like, when we have access to those resources, or
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, like, of what we can do is just as magical. It was heartwarming and all of that good stuff. So yeah, I feel like everybody needs to see it, if they haven't already.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it needs to be shared a million times. I do believe that,
Yeah.
especially during this holiday
It's
season.
trending
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So we good. All right. So I guess from there we'll just go ahead and wrap it up. Unless anybody want to say any last words or anything.
Well, I was waiting on Stick to sing happy birthday to you.
Hold on.
Oh,
Yo, look, they got me working on my birthday. You see that?
See? Nice.
yeah, 3 balloons. That's what I'm
I'm
talking
having
about.
a COVID birthday, y'all. I never thought my birthday in November at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh, they got to celebrate this with COVID. And then here I am
See?
in a lockdown.
I tell people like this, welcome to my world. This is how I celebrate my birthday.